Okay, well, hello. Welcome to another Reactor. This is Chris, aka Old Man Who Looks Like the Guy from Toy Story, aka Tooth Whistler. How are you guys doing today? We're going to do some really cool stuff today. We're going to go ahead and finish our inventory, or get close to finishing our inventory example, and then we're going to play Nightkeep. It's a brand new Made with Fusion game that just came out on Indiegogo. So I've played a couple minutes of it already, and it's really solid, really clean, and plays well. And we're going to check it out probably the last 30 minutes. So we should probably get started. I, however, want to go over a couple things. First, as you can see on the screen, I've got a brand new using Restream.io chat window. So I hope to keep track of everybody. I'd like to say hello to Wreckage, Known One Jeff, and we have Gamer Fox Gaming, who messaged me on Steam today. We're going to take a couple minutes in the beginning when we get to Fusion to work out a problem he had, because he's having a little problem. He's new. So everybody welcome, make him feel welcome. And also, over the last week, we've enjoyed some great posts from our users. And I thought it'd be fun if we reviewed them. So why don't we take a look? So, yeah, if you guessed it, they seem to be troll comments, which, are my favorite kind. They're fun. Let's take a look at the first one. We had several. I picked the two best. So, Hot Potato 77 asked in a post, why not bring Snail back? You are really bad at this, no offense. Just being honest, bro. Now, let's keep track of the use of bro throughout the entire thing. I honestly that Snail is more than welcome to come back. No one asked him to leave. Snail being a former user, longtime user, who did some really cool videos. And I told him I'll try to be less horrible for you, bro. Again, bro used. I responded in the appropriate bro. And then he responded that I get ticked off easily. It's only a comment. Don't get my, your undergarments in a knot. Chillax brew. So we went from bro to brew, which is interesting. Your video is too blurry and too long. I thought the too long part was great because everyone wanted me to go longer. It doesn't help when you make whistle tooth sounds. So I need you guys to tell me, are my teeth whistling? I asked them to give me some reference videos so I can understand what teeth whistling is. I don't really know, but maybe you guys can shed some light on that. And I'm clicking everywhere without explaining in detail. That is true. That's a good comment. I do a lot of clicking, and I'm not super clear as to what I'm doing. I'm trying to work on that. But the beauty of what we're doing here is I'm creating it as we go. I'm not having a pre-made video for you. I'm actually figuring it out as we watch, which is kind of fun. And then there's brew again. And I was really concerned about the brew and bro thing. So I said, is it bro or brew? Or are you trying for bruh? The Islander version of brew. It could have been bruv, for all I know. And then someone at Click Team from England suggested that maybe when he said brew, he was actually looking for a cup of tea. Wasn't quite sure. And then I asked him if he could further provide some reference material so I can better understand the whistle tooth sounds. Maybe he knows the video. And he's only trying to help me brew. So there's brew again. You know where to find Snail, which is interesting because I have no idea where to find Snail. He left the community. But that's a good one. Moving on, we had Lisa Designs reference that I look like the Chicken Man from Toy Story 2. I don't remember what he looks like, so I'm probably going to have to watch Toy Story 2 this weekend to see. And this was on a stream we did that some of my Reactor supporters, if you're online today, saw me post. I did a guest stream with the GGA, Georgia Game Developers Association, and it's hosted and ran by a man named Brian Miller, and he referenced that she looks like the fat mouse from Pinky and the Brain, and it was too boring to watch, and so he skipped through it. If you value your time, nothing to see here. Move along, folks. So, more trolling, and it gets interesting. So Space Monkey, a user, jumped in and said, maybe you should check out some videos on grammar and punctuation. Try search how to use capital letters at the start of sentences and fun with pronouns. Fun with pronouns. Good luck. So then Lisa Designs remarks, you're an old fart. Is that spelled correctly? Please let me know. Which I'm confused because he called me the old fart earlier, And now he's calling Space Monkey 95 an old fart. He doesn't know who that is. So I just felt that it was my duty to point out that, you know, if you're going to troll people, maybe you should direct your trolling at the right individual. But anyways, that was fun. So, you know, I don't know if these people are just don't like Click Team or don't like me. You know, I'm not mad. It's all fun. Let's, you know, I look forward to more comments. In fact, when I woke up this morning and there were no more trolling comments from the last couple days, I was a little disappointed. Hit me with as many troll comments as you want. Let's see if we have any comments. Speaking of comments. Yep, there you go. Chicken Man. Bruh. And stop it with Fusion 3. That I don't understand. And it looks like this new app doesn't let me scroll up. That's ridiculous. So I'm going to go back to here. To our review thing here. Okay. Personally, I'm a big fan of Bruv. So we should probably stick with Bruv moving forward. And okay, so that's enough of trolling. I believe we're going to close that down. And let's get into Fusion. So as I mentioned earlier, before we get started with our inventory example, which I did a little bit of work on in between this stream and last week's stream, we're going to go ahead and, yes, that does say enemy clowns. Be scared. Gamer Fox Gaming, a relatively new Fusion user, is trying to make a game and had a question about something about ID cards. So I'm going to quickly show him what I meant in chat, and then we'll move on to the inventory. So Gamer Fox Gaming, I'm going to walk through it. If you have any questions, please let me know after we're done with the stream. Okay? So basically, just for him, file new. He said something about ID cards and wanting to match them up. So he wanted to use an edit box. So we'll grab an edit box. Edit box. And what he wanted to do is to be able to pass in the edit box, which we'll just use a simple button for that. If I can find button, if I can remember my alphabet. There you go. And then we'll need a string for our output. Okay. So he wanted to be able to put in, I guess, a password or a passcode or something and compare against it. And if it was wrong, to have the string display or trigger that it's an invalid response. And if it is the correct response, then to put the correct response in. So we'll just show him real quick how to do that. So we're just going to start by first having a button click. And then we're going to start a fast loop. I mentioned to you online a fast loop. And we'll say compare result. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to run it only once per button click. And then we're going to say on loop. And this is what I was telling you online that maybe you were struggling with. The very first time we do it, the very first loop on the fast loop. And if you're new, fast loops are like subroutines in Fusion. When you call them, it pauses the main loop and only executes the fast loop the number of times you've called it. So what I was telling you is that the default should always be invalid, right? The very first thing you set is invalid code or whatever text or whatever your invalid state is in your app. Okay, so we go ahead and we type that up. And so as soon as I run it, it's already invalid. But what we do is we add comparisons, and we do those comparisons. You can compare two general values. You can get the text, and then you can compare it to something. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then you can say, okay. So if that triggers, if on this loop, the text that you entered equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you could say here, get text, and then you could say accepted. And because you're doing multiple lines, you can say accepted level alpha or whatever wonderful gaming garbage you want to put in there. And then you could clone that and you can make it a different string. You could include letters. You could say ABC 1, 2, 3, right? And then you could say Jackson 5 for life if you wanted to. So if we run it real quick, I type in something wrong, and I get an invalid code. If I don't type anything in and I hit enter, I get an invalid code. But the minute I type in a correct code, I'm going to get a proper response. There you go. I hope that answers the question. If it doesn't, you can seek me out on Steam, and I can try to answer the question for you. If Gamer Fox Gaming, mouthful. If in fact you find this helpful, maybe you'll consider joining the Reactor. We provide one-on-one assistance for folks learning Fusion in the Reactor. And at the higher tiers, you also have Academy access, which gives you a whole other Click Team employee to help you with your issues. So thanks for the question earlier today, and I hope that helps out. So inventory example. So let's take a look at our list of things we wanted to do today. And we'll go here to our posts. And we'll go to our Reactor stream. Okay, so we wanted to do, based on the suggestions you guys gave us, smooth moving of picked up item that snaps to grid when dropped. So in other words, you want me to move it around smoothly with the mouse, but when I let go, it automatically snaps to the grid. Sounds good. Been thinking about how to do it. Make picked up objects semi-transparent when unable to drop into specific slots due to collisions. I like that one. And tabs for multiple inventory pages and be able to drag an item between pages. We'll figure that out. I don't know if we'll get to it today. Pop up on the items with stats when you hover over them. That I was planning on doing already. And open close the inventory with the I key. So I started with that because in order to do that, and based on another suggestion that is not in here, we needed an actual little game layer beneath it. So what I did do is I started just building a very rudimentary game where you've got this hero. Yes, in fact, these are Click Team library graphics. Where else would you find something as hideous as that clown? But they're moving around. They're random movements. They're path movements, and it randomly picks it to give them a little bit of life. And if a clown tries to leave the screen, it'll recreate a new one. It should create a new one on screen. So we should always have 3 clowns. I don't know why it's not working now. Let's get to the event editor. Here's our enemy clowns. Number 3 creates, and if it leaves the player, destroys. So it probably was just off screen and was going to come in. So great. Now the other thing we need to do is we need to be able to kill the clowns and get loot. So we're going to make it real simple. If the hero collides with the clown, right, then destroy the clown. But we got to create the loot first. So, you know, I was toying with how to do this. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take our items and we're going to create a new treasure item out of it. And we'll call this loot. And we'll go ahead and, let's see, I believe the shield was next. So we'll grab the shield graphic and then we're going to paste it into here. And then it was the potion. Everybody likes a good potion. Paste that in. And then finally we had the pull. We haven't renamed it yet, so we'll have to do that. And we'll drop that in. So these are our random items, or our loot. And I think that covers it. Let's rename this pull while we're at it. Pole arm. Okay, so loot, let's put it up here. We're not going to create it at start, which is already set to that. That's good. And as you can see, when you run the game, I've hidden the layer. So the first thing we need to do is make the layer appear per the request. And we're going to need the layer object for that. I put the entire inventory elements on layer 2. And so with the layer object, we can turn them off and on. And where is that bad boy? Layer, 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 layer. There it is. Okay. And let's see if anyone's commenting. Thank you, Rexrage. Man, I gotta learn how to pronounce stuff. I appreciate the comment. And then I'm being asked what I think about Five Nights at Freddy's. It was made with Click Team Fusion. Like, what's your review on it? Okay, so real quick, I've known Scott via the community for a long, long time. I have several emails with him over the years where he interfaces with Click Team. Great, great guy. Five Nights at Freddy's is a very unique game that came out when it came out, and it was super fortunate to be one of the first streams to really explode successfully as a jump scare game. And for him, I'm super excited. I have an email from him where he kind of says I could put the first Five Nights at Freddy's on Click Store, and the tone was a bit, I don't know if this is any good kind of thing. And what I find hilarious is a week later, it's like a gold mine. It just explodes. He's been a user for almost as long as I have, and I'm super excited for his success. I can tell you I have not fully played all the way through a Five Nights at Freddy's game. I can also tell you that my kids and my wife love Five Nights at Freddy's. I have about four, Foxies on the bed and a Freddy, stuffed huge guys. And our youngest daughter is sometimes afraid to go in the room because she's afraid they're going to come to life and get her. I hope Scott's success continues, and I'd like to see more successes. A lot of people who are really into Five Nights at Freddy's end up using our tool to try to replicate it, which is great. For all those people that are doing that, I make a great suggestion to you. Try not to make what Scott made. Try to make your own thing. Scott, before he made Five Nights at Freddy's, made a lot of really awesome role-playing games. Probably the coolest one that I like, which is on Steam, is called The Desolate Hope, where you literally play a coffee machine in a post-apocalyptic world. I mean, that's awesome. And he loves role-playing games. In fact, you notice that I think it was the 5th game in the Five Nights at Freddy's series, he tried to make a role-playing game out of it. And he, of course, had some issues that he experienced with it. And I love those games. I'm not as big of a fan as Five Nights at Freddy's, but what I'll point out is he went on a limb. And instead of doing another role-playing game, he tried to do something completely new, something fresh. And that exploded. It exploded for him. And I encourage all the new people that enjoy Five Nights at Freddy's, cut your teeth trying to make a clone of Five Nights at Freddy's, but get to, as fast as you can, making your own original content, because that's really what's going to break out. And that's really the expression of you being a game designer, is when you come up with something unique. So, yeah, we want Scott to continue to succeed, and we hope more people will enjoy the game and come and try Fusion out and buy a copy, because, it's a business, and Click Team needs to sell copies of Fusion. So, great question. Thank you. Let me see if there's any other questions I'm missing. And let's see here. All right, so let's continue on. Let me hide this bad boy. So now we've got the layer object, and we need to make the layer object hide. We can do it a couple ways, and I think we're going to try it with flags. So I haven't used a named flag yet. This will be my maiden voyage. Named flags is a brand new feature, and we'll call this inventory display state. And there we go. So what we'll do now is whenever we press the I key, which was the requested button to hit for inventory, we'll then toggle that flag. And there it is, inventory display state. Now a toggle allows me to switch it from off to on or on to off, depending on what its current state is. I love toggle. And for those of the uninitiated in programming, basically a flag is a Boolean value. It's 0 or 1, off or on. So now that we have that, we're going to say if the flag is off, and this is going to be the default state, the startup state, and if layer 2 is visible, okay, then we're going to make that layer invisible. Now I've already set the layer to be invisible at start, so it's going to already trigger, it won't trigger true when we run the game. Now, here's a trick that a lot of people don't know that I actually learned recently. I've got a flag in an off state. I used to go in and re-input the on state, but if I just go to negate, it switches it to on. I think that's the coolest thing ever. And then we switch this with negate to layer is not visible. So once I toggle the state on, it'll check to see if the layer is visible. And if it is, we will turn that layer on. And that's going to be layer 2. So let's see if that works. So here's our creepy clowns running around, and there's our inventory. Pops in and out. Great. Now we need to drop loot. loot. Insert comment. I'm going to put this up with the inventory screen. Toggle display of inventory layer. Woohoo! There we go. Move it up. Great. Insert comment. Drop loot. Okay, I already have a collision here where we're destroying the character, so I'm going to say on loop create loot, and we'll just start doing it once, but let's create an object, the loot, and we'll just make it relative to the player, like just off. We'd want to change that later, but we'll just do it that way for now. And then fast loop, start loop, create loot, once. And you can put a random value in there if you want to create multiple loots. There's a lot of ways to do it, but this isn't about the game itself. This is about the inventory editor, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I am, however, going to change the animation frame to a random 4. Remember, animations in Fusion, the animation frames are 0 based, so the first frame is 0, and then it's 1, 2, and 3. Random 4, the random command is also 0 based unless you use the range command, and that will give me a value of 0 to 3, 0, 1, 2, or 3, which syncs up with the frames. So let's see if that creates some random loot. There we go, loot, 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 more loot, got tons of loot. Okay, now we've got to collect the loot and get it in the inventory. And this was something that I was a little apprehensive about. How do we take that loot and put it into our inventory screen without it messing up and overlapping? My thought was to take our collision detection object, our item reader, which is set to just a dot, create a new animation, and we'll call this insert loot. Okay, we don't want to go with the diamond, but we're going to copy the entire animation sequence. We're going to go back here, go down to item loot, paste them in, and then delete. And if I'm not mistaken, the item loots all have their position same as the stopped icon. Now, as long as you maintain the exact resolutions, grid resolutions, meaning that it's always a 32 by 32-bit pixel unless it's larger, but it's always divided in multiples of 32 by 64, then we can use the algorithm that we created earlier to read the points here and drop in whenever it doesn't detect, if that makes sense. See, I'm not being clear, just like the trolls were pointing out. So we need a collision. We need to say, does the hero collide with our loot? Right there. And then, as you can see, I already copied the code from up here where we're loading, or rather when we're saving, which will position at the reader at the top corner of the inventory screen here, and it will read through. So what we need to do now is, in addition to that, we need to set animation sequence, change animation sequence to, oh, that's the wrong object. Change animation sequence to insert loot, and then we need to force that animation frame to the exact same animation frame as the collected loot, which would be here, here, here. I don't know why that keeps popping over there, but let's put it here. Okay. So let's test that. Let's first make sure it works. So we're going to, this is currently invisible, but we're going to, oh, it's visible now. But let's make sure we have it all the way to the front. So just a temporary condition, order to front. And let's make sure sorting the objects, we don't make it invisible at any point. Good, so let's give it a shot. So I'm going to pull up the inventory screen. Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to first kill a clown, and then, so we've got an issue. It touched the shield, but only produced a sword. And I bet you I know why that is, because the sword is value 0. It's the first animation frame. And not paying attention to my order of events, I started my loop placing before. That can't be it. That shouldn't have been it. Loot. Let's try it again. Okay, potion. Pull up the inventory. Interesting. Well, let's make sure that we're even collecting the item. Okay. Yeah, so we are collecting the item, but it's still not copying over. So that's no good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate the event, and I'm going to grab a new value in my local storage, pass item type, or loot type. That's the common word. Okay. Then we go back down here, and we're going to set pass loot type to current. Am I grabbing the right value? Let's see, animation, current frame. Ah, there you go. In fact, that's the error. See, this has nothing to do with it. Let's just deactivate that for a second. Debugging. So much fun. I'm grabbing the animation number, not the frame of the image. So, of course, it's not working. So, current frame. And I bet you it'll work now. The reason why I kept showing the sword is because when you can't return a value, you always get 0. So, we don't want the sword. There's the shield. Inventory. Shield. Good. So, there's the shield. So, we're on track so far. So we can get rid of this and that. All right. So we're going to actually do the comparison here. So we're going to insert some blank lines. Insert a new event. Never on loop place X. Okay. And then we're going to add if the value of pass loot type is 0. We're going to drop that into these other ones. 1, 2, and then finally 3. And then we're going to add the additional condition. We've got to find out where our, so here is where we're comparing. So we're going to ask if the object is overlapping one of our inventory items. Rather, we're going to ask if it's not overlapping. If it isn't overlapping, then we're going to create the sword relative to the object. And then we'll do the same thing, but we'll change it to the shield. Guess we can't do it that way. Create shield relative to the item placer, create objects. You know, I probably have all these already created up here. I could probably just use them, but I'm lazy. Actually, it would be lazy to do it that way, wouldn't it? See, I place them in using the math. Okay. So create and then create potion relative to the object, and then finally create the pole arm relative to the item reader. Okay. Now, the problem with that is it's going to loop through, and every time there isn't an overlap, it create one. So we have to have a way to switch it off. So we could use another flag. And the new flag can be has object been placed. Okay? And what we'll do here is we'll say every time we place an object, we turn that flag on. So flags set on, has object been placed. Naming flags is great. And then we add the additional condition, flag is off, and we want to make sure that it's as has object been placed is off. And that way it'll safely loop through the rest of the loops, going from the top corner all the way to the bottom corner. And as long as it's off, it'll continue to look for a place to place it. If not, it'll turn it on, and then the rest of these will be ignored. The one thing we do have to do, though, is the first time we place an object, it's on, but the flag hasn't been turned back off to reset. So we'll go ahead and put here, flag set off, has object been placed, and we'll go ahead and put it in front of the events. All right, here we go. Let's see if it works. Our current inventory is just those 2 items. I just grabbed a pole arm. And I placed the pole arm down here and placed a sword here. So that's interesting. Why would it do that? Let's see, pass loot type, pass light type. And we are setting... I didn't actually place any values in pass loot type, so that makes no sense. So what we need to do then is say compare to general values, animation, current frame equals 0. See, I was using pass loot type because I was originally going to do that back up when we had the bug here. But now I see that I didn't, so we're going to compare against the actual frame of the object. And we'll see if that works. All right, let's run it. Okay, inventory, confirmed. Kill a guy, got a potion. And there it is, there's the potion. So that's pretty cool. Now, what we need to try to do is see if we can't trick it. Let's get another potion. Oh, that didn't work. That time it worked. So it's leaving the item there, and that's why, because the object's not visible. I thought it was the real object. So if we did this, we should be good to go. Boom, boom, polearm. Collecting all these wonderful items. And there they are. That's awesome. Great. So we should probably save our work. And let me check comments. All right, there's a lot of comments. All right. Thought on Click Team Fusion Academy Pro membership. So Team 89R, I guess, is asking me what he feels about the Click Fusion Academy Pro membership. I think the Academy is great. I think you should check it out, and you should probably check it out through the Reactor because you can sign up for one of the 2 highest tiers of the Reactor and get the Academy included, which is a cool deal. So you can get both things. He missed my question. And exclamation point, this is live chat. Yes, it is. It is live chat. You're live. Scroll, it's down there. Stop trolling. Okay. All right, so Team 89er, if you could just let me know if I answered your question, that would be awesome. And I don't see anybody asking questions in Mixer, so I'm just going to give them another hello. Feel free to ask questions. And then Gamer Fox Gaming, if you missed it, you can go back and check out the stream. Later, I'll post it, and you can see what I did for your example. So, yeah, there we go. So now we've covered the eye, and then the collecting items. Let's move on to stats. Let's make stats. All right, so let's go to our inventory layer, and let's go ahead and grab some strings. We'll grab 1 string, and we'll make the color whitish, maybe a whitish yellow. There you go. And then we're going to grab a background, backdrop, solid color, black, drop it on there, right? And then we're going to put it down here, and we're going to double click it again. Trans alpha, yes. Then we're going to edit, show, grab a darker color, and that'll make it semi-transparent, so you can still see the background. And then we'll stretch that out. Center our text a little bit. And there we go. Stickler for perfectness. Still not perfect, so we grab the dimensions of 320, and it's 320, and now we've got a perfect little bit of business there. Okay, so we're going to display our stats here. That will be where we display them when we hover over an item. So what kind of stats would we want? Let's see if we added any already. We got item type, initial X and Y, we got name. So we could have strength. We could have defense, and I think that's probably good for now. So we got strength and defense, and we'll put that on all three items, even though it wouldn't make sense for some of those items. So strength, defense. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a list object. And we're going to put in some names. We're going to say glorious, plain, awesome, poisoned, cursed, I don't know, whistling. For whistling teeth, of course. And we'll go ahead and put fat in there too, as well as old. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different types of names. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to where we're creating the objects. We could probably do it right here. When we pick up the loot, that's where we could do it. So what we'll do is we will then say random strength, random defense. And you can do this 100 ways. This is just how I'm doing it to demonstrate it. We're down here. And so we need to say insert value set random strength to 5 plus random 20. And then we'll do the same thing with defense. And of course, you'd probably make it totally different in yours, but this again is just for getting it done, getting her done. And then we'll leave the naming alone for now. Okay, so now when we create these objects in our game, we're going to first start by setting their strength to whatever the randomly generated strength number is. And then we're going to set their defense to whatever the randomly generated defense value is. Boom. Boom. And then we'll go ahead and just drag those check marks like that. The other thing we want to do is the name, because you'll see in our objects we actually have a slot for name, right? So what we'll do is, we could actually probably do it just like this. Say alternate strings set the alternate string name to, this is our list with the names in it, get line random get number of lines, and close that off. So it'll pick one of the random lines. One thing we got to make sure though is this list 0 based? No, it's 1 based, right? And again, if I use random, then I'm going to get, if it's 6 total, if I go random 6, then I'm going to get 0 through 5. But because this is 1 based, and if it was 6, I would need to get 1 to 6. So the way we fix that eventuality, if you will, is we find out where the heck where did I put it? Did I put it on the totally wrong line? I did. Goober. Goodbye. And then we bring that back over here. Drop it in. We need to +1 that random. So it's going to generate the random number, but then we add 1 to shift it up to a 1-based number system. Now I can simply do this, and we should be good. Now, insert comments, check inventory stats, okay? And then the state for the inventory stat would be here, display state is on, and if the mouse is over one of our inventory items, then we're going to change alt string to display the item name plus strength, and then we're going to pull that value by converting the value to string, and then we copy this whole bit of business, drop it in, we change this to defense, and then we change the strength value to defense. Okay, one thing I forgot to do, which I'll have to fix up here, is I just set the item name to the random name that's in there. So right now I would simply just say fat or whistling. We don't want that. What we want it to do is to pull what's already there and append. And you can append in the front. So we do that by saying this is the sword, so we'll have to go like this and pull the item name. And we should probably also add a space. Okay. Now, I'm going to drag it like this, but you'll see it's carrying over the sword. So by going to the event list editor, one of my favorite editors, we can just simply do this, and it associates to the correct object. Let's see if it works. So we know that the current inventory, it's not going to say anything. And the reason why it's not going to say anything is because these are from a save file where we didn't create any objects. So let's hide the inventory. Let's grab a new object. And now I've got a whistling shield. A whistling shield with strength 7 and defense 12. Do I want to keep it or do I want to get rid of it? I don't know. We'll have to get to that. But a poison shield. I wonder why it says poison now. But it does. I guess that's cool. And it also has the same strength numbers. Let's hide the inventory and grab some more items. These guys seem stuck. Die. Okay, inventory. A fat pole. Okay. Another shield. Another whistling shield. A plain whistling shield. So we definitely have an issue where it seems to be appending the names onto the different objects. So we should need to figure what's going on there. And it may be this event here is affecting the object selection. That's the only thing I could think of. So we're going to go ahead and remove them. Well, we're not going to remove them. We're going to slide them down so that doesn't affect object selection. And I'm hoping that does it. Create. Yeah. All right. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove our array file. Of course, when I do that, I need to remember how we save. And the way we save data is upon pressing S. But instead of pressing S, why don't we say, again, with the identifying of values, save inventory, right? And we'll say You know what? I guess we don't need that, but I'm going to say on loop save inventory. Another case where I'm thinking as I'm working out loud. Okay, so the reason why we're going to do that is whenever I close the menu, which is here, I want to save that inventory. And at the end of every new object that's grabbed, I think I'd like to save that inventory. Yeah, I think I can do that too. All right, so we have an inventory of nothing. Kill a clown, get a potion. Awesome potion. Close the inventory. Kill a clown, get a sword. Inventory. Awesome potion, poison sword. Different stat numbers. So far, so good. Grab a polearm. Grab another potion. I don't know why it's up here. That's interesting. Cursed pole, poison, sword. Okay. Maybe these are items that were recently destroyed. Yep, that's it. And yeah, now I don't know why these are overriding. That's an interesting. See how it's appending additional labels? It's kind of cool. A cursed awesome potion. Who wouldn't want that? A plain cursed pole. Those are kind of boring. But we need to figure that bug out. So let's take a look at our naming routine. We set the item name when we create the object. Right. Has, let's see, has been placed off. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is use our test list. And we're going to add a line, create one, we'll say sword. Create shield. Am I on the right? Yeah, I am on the right place. And then we're going to create potion. And then finally, we're going to create that polearm. All right, rerun it. Oh, would be helpful if I actually had the test list. This is not it. I'm going to name that list, though. Names. Okay. The test list here. Run the app. Kill. Okay. Create sword runs once. And then there's our save routine. Potion. So these are the items we already had in the array. I think it'd be best if we start with a fresh array. So we're going to kill our array again. Bye-bye array. We'll run it again. Polearm. Created a polearm. It's called plain polearm. And it even saved it as plain polearm. Well, but it saved it twice. That's interesting. Why are we saving it twice? All right. Well, with that being discovered, let's run it. Let's check the inventory. I've only got one polearm. Interesting. Very interesting. One polearm. But it saved it twice. Okay, well we know what that is because the polearm is long and it is detecting it twice. Why is it doing that? So flag is off, flag is on. It shouldn't overlap the second time. So we have a problem with our save routine now. Maybe we do this. Let's see if that works. Inventory, one polearm. Nope, did it again. Most interesting. Where do we write in the array? That's right there. Set flag on. Well, that defies explanation. I wonder if it's because it's running on a fast loop. So that one I'll have to research. I don't have the answer off the top of my head. But that's the reason why that was happening. That still doesn't explain why we're getting different names for different stuff when the names have already been decided. So there we go. There we go. Sword. Potion. Inventory screen. That doesn't make any sense. All right, so we know this one says, we see that it's glorious. We got 1, 1, 2, 1, 0. So the only one that's 2 is this one. So let's test some more. Buy inventory. Okay. A fat potion. So yeah, it's appending the names again. That is so odd. Okay. Seems like our flags are getting ignored, and this is happening in both loops, because you can see that the flag's being ignored here, and the flag is being ignored here. So I wonder if it's a flag issue. So what we'll do is we will remove the flag, right? And then we will declare a variable instead. Is object is loop placed. Okay. And then we're going to say down there, insert value compare is loop placed equals 0. And then we remove this and we say fast variables set is loop placed to 1. We drop that into all categories. Up here we remove the flag and we say insert variable set is loop placed back to 0. All right. So, killing the array again. Killing the array softly. There we go. Sword. Sword. Pull. Inventory. Glorious, glorious pull. Well, still doing it. Okay, well. Ooh, look, it's an old glorious, glorious pull. Okay. Well, I'll have to figure out what the deal is there, and I'll make sure that that's in the final build, the fix, as well as notes on how to fix it. Let's go back to our goals, and let's see what else we want to do. Tabs. Oh, pick up semi-transparency. We can do that pretty easy. Before we continue, let's see if anybody has commented on how stupid I am. Of course, my mouse isn't working anymore. That's interesting. Nothing there. Nothing there. Let me just double check on this one. All right, cool. So let's make the semi-transparency bit. So we go back, let's save what we've got, and puts it back. We got to also look at that. It didn't restore the transparency when snapping back, which is right here. So copy that, and we drop that in there. Let's see if that fixes that bug. So what happened is we were semi-transparent, and when we snap to, it's still semi-transparent, and now it fixes itself. It fixed that time. Interesting. Free potion. I wonder if this guy is overlapping somehow. One way to find out. 32 by 64, and it's 0, 0, so that can't be the issue. Just your basic shield. Didn't save any of the names when it's saved. I wonder why. So many things to fix. So save, right string plus item name. So that does work. The other thing we do need to add here to our save is our stats. So string value strength, strength and honor, fellow Roman soldiers. Value defense. Okay. And then yep, and then yep. Which also means that when we load, we need to put the data in the right places. Which it isn't doing. Okay, insert, and believe we're only using value 1, so the text value string set string substring list tokenizing get element 2. We'll put that down there, and then we need to get the values. So value set defense strength rather strength string strength. Yeah, oh, we don't. I gotta convert it to a string. There you go. And then we get the element. Get the element. The 5th element. And then drop that down 1. Change that to a 5. And then we do this bit of business here. Line 16. Good. Good, good, good. All right. Let's kill the array. Let's run it. Nothing in the inventory. Grab an item. Grab another item. Inventory. Poisoned pole. Plain potion. Close it. Run it again. Inventory. Poisoned. Plain potion. Perfect. So there we go. You left me a shield. I could use that. All right, does anyone have any questions so far? Let's see if there's any questions. Questions. Well, I don't know why my keyboard isn't working. That's annoying. Okay. Not seeing any questions. And did I lose all my viewers? Can't tell. Oh, we've got 7 people on here. I wonder if it's a bug with the... Well, do you guys have any questions? because I may not be seeing them. Any questions? Questions? All right, cool. Well, where do we leave off? Okay, so we're pretty good on all these. This one is going to take a little while to figure out. So what we'll do is I will polish it up and hopefully have it on the Click Store next week. So I want to start playing Nightkeep for you guys, and we'll see how that game looks. And then if you have any questions during it, let me know. Ask me here, and I'll try to answer about the inventory system. I don't want to stretch it out too long. There's plenty to do, but the next parts may take a little while, and you don't want to watch the whole thing, I don't think. Do you? Do you want to watch the whole thing? So Nightkeep is joystick compatible, which is kind of cool. So I think it's time for our next segment. It's time to check out a Made with Fusion game. And while you guys are doing that, I am going to turn the music off. Wonderful. Turn off the inventory example. And I don't know what's going on here. All right. Hello, Happy Orange. How are you? Great. So let's start the game. So control. So this is a little bit of dead air there. Sorry. Woo. Okay, so this game is called Nightkeep. It is, if you've been watching our Twitter, it's been on there quite a few times. No, not Yay Fenny. Where is it? Here it is. It's been on our forums for a few years. Million here has worked really hard on the game. I played a little bit of this morning. It's very good. He's running a Indigo Go, so if you like what you see, he could use your support, even if it's just for a spare cup of coffee. Then there's the Scout level, which gives you regular updates about the game. And then you can start getting digital copies of the game at the $10 level. I think the big difference is when you hit... Yeah, it's all Steam. So it's all Steam. And then, a bunch of other stuff. So, I know crowdfunding is, an interesting bit of business. I've done a couple crowdfundings, and I have one game I still got to try to get finished. So I know that it's stressful pressure for the backers as well as the author trying to do the game. But I hope you like what you see. I think it's worth being backed. I plan on backing it. So why don't we give it a shot? Let's give it a playthrough. Pretty. So I am going to use the Xbox controller here, because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm not one of those mouse, keyboard, first-person shooter guys. I guess that disqualifies me for PC Master Race. What are you going to do? Alright, so new game. You can choose Czech or English. I can't speak Czech, so we'll probably have to go with English. As you can see, that's the file I started earlier. But we'll go to file 2 and start from the beginning. Where'd that guy go? Look at, where's that bird going? Come back. Come back. You can do it, buddy. Good job. I like how he's beating at a sink, too. So he told me to skip this, so I'm going to hold the skip button. Because he probably wants us to get to the action. Though that scene looked kind of cool. Ah, the old routine of killing monsters. So the first part serves as kind of a tutorial. The old tutorial level. My favorite tutorial level I've ever participated in was when we moved into our new house here in Bakersfield, California. My wife brought me to the kitchen and said, now I've set up the kitchen, this is your tutorial level. And she explained everything, and she told me if you didn't pay attention to the tutorial, I'm not going to tell you again. So, alright, come on, let's get through this. See ya. Alright, so the old move back and forth, jump with A. X does some slashing moves. I know that you can do the whole swipe back avoidance routine. There you go. It's very solid with the platforming. Very solid. Let's attack these angry boxes. And watch that boulder. Oh! That boulder nearly killed us. Yep, the old push down and press A. Oh! Get out of here, guy. Ooh, throw a dagger. I'm assuming that the flashing little white thing over there is where I need to throw a dagger, so... That worked! Oh, maybe we should get this box here. Do I have unlimited daggers? No, I don't. I just wasted a bunch. Oh! Dodge the rat. Get out of here. Open the menu. There's a menu. Items, that's cool. Map. No map. Okay. Gemstones. Journal. Okay. No companion yet. Options. Okay. Pretty robust little menu there. This other chick's kind of mouthy. Now we have a companion. So I bet you if we go back to the menu, there's a companion. A statue of a snake. Perhaps some significance later. So now we're in the town of Nightkeep. I'll just leave. Now we'll go knock. No, it's not Valis. So we gotta go kill flying freaks. Well, what if the flying freaks have rights? Don't they have rights? Maybe they're just trying to live their life. Just because they're creepy doesn't mean they're bad. Just because they're purple with red eyes. Let's make a video game where we defend the rights of monsters. Anyone down for that? Anyone ever participate in that game? Maybe that can be a next game jam. Monster rights. I'm killing them pretty good for someone concerned with their rights, aren't I? Look at these two guys. Okay. Oh, I thought something was going to happen. Maybe we're hunters and thieves. A vermin problem. Sending crows. Very Thrones. Actually, it's ravens in Game of Thrones, isn't it? Let's get to work. Oop, quest updated. So let's see if we have a quest. There it is. Well done. Van Dark Mansion. Those filthy Van Darks. Never sweep the floor. There's rat poop everywhere. What if these guys aren't trying to kill you, they're just trying to give you the winning lottery? Where'd he go? You got the look down biz? Nope. Oh, now you show up. Free money. As we kill monsters in the Vandark's home, we steal their money. Give me that. Are you coming back, friend? Goodbye. Alright. Oop. Can I make it? Oh. Nope. Can I push down? Alright. Which would then mean that works. Because I'm going for the big money to get more monsters to deal with. Maybe they're vacuum salesmen, and that's why nobody likes them. Sir, have you seen our new Electrolux model? Free floor checkup. Oh no. I was making fun of him, so he tried to kill me. There you go. Right. Push it up. Oh, free monies. Alright. So, there's nothing up there. Okay, cool. Is there anything in this house I can destroy? Oh, cool. I thought this lady was supposed to kill the monsters, not destroy her home. Collateral damage. Uh-oh. It's getting busy in here. Get out of here. Oh! Peace out. Who knocked this chair over? It's a mystery. Any hidden areas? Not on this frame, at least. Oh! Alright. Oh! That's cool. I'm digging that. Oh! Not digging getting hurt though. And then having to kill the guy twice. Respawn. So I guess that's not a platform that we can jump on. Oh no. Notes to the programmer, I thought that was a platform. We got killed twice for trying to get to it. Cool, I leveled up. Uh-oh. These guys. Bomb up rejects. A little more aggressive. Oh, you're gonna make me go for the goal, aren't you? Yeah. Ooh, randomly opening door. Uh-oh. That's a big rat. Oh. You're gonna shoot something at me, aren't you? Oh! Oh boy. That's my last save position. Well, that kind of kills the demo today, doesn't it? I could play it through. Let's see if anybody has any comments about the game. Yeah, it is. It does play very well, except for the part where I have to restart from 6 minutes ago. We'll give it one more shot. We're not going to mess with these guys, though. Well, let's see. Does my level start? I'll start back at level 1. That's most unfortunate. Really? Sounds like my kids. So does it record my experience? There it is. Okay, 16. Oh, not this lady again. Yep. Okay, yep. Speech balloon. Gotta have that. Alright. We're gonna skip it this time. Let's see how Willie programmed it. Can I continue the game without speaking to the folks in the pub? Oh. So are those numbers my experience? It would seem so. Come back down here, buddy. Thank you. Okay. Ooh. See, we did find something here. Ooh. Get out of here, guy. Oh, not one of those guys again. Ah! Oh, leveled up. Just in time. Oh no! What is this up here? Iron ore. Fuel. Can you go in there? Nope. Oh! Let's see what my last save position is. Yeah. Alright, well, that's Nightkeep. I don't think I want to go through that all again. But the gameplay is super solid. I'm pretty excited about it. You should be too. Again, visit them at the Indigo page. You can find it on the Reactor post for tonight, or you can see it on one of our Twitter or Facebook posts about it. It's an excellent looking game. Plays very well. Once it gets that save going, I'm going to absolutely love it. And let's see if we have any other comments so far today. Yes, I agree with Jeff that it could use more fat potions and glorious cursed swords. I completely, totally agree. Hey, can you dive into the forest instead? I think I did, if that's what you're asking. I don't know when you asked that, but I think I did. No comments from the Mixer channel for some reason. And no comments on YouTube. All right, guys. Well, if you have any other questions, I think that's going to settle it for tonight. See how the hour and a half works instead of 2 hours. Let's see what kind of trolling comments we can get next week on that. Appreciate you watching. I appreciate your support of the Reactor. In case you are not aware, if you're a Reactor subscriber, you can now get your December rewards are available. In fact, I don't know for those of you that are on the Reactor, if you know, but if you're at the $15 or higher level, all right, here's the item for this month, and these are carryover from last because they roll over 1 extra month. These have become permanent members of the Reactor, and then here are the 2 other objects that are available. But beyond that, you can see the growing list of different items that are generated from you guys supporting the Reactor. All of these here are generated from your support. We really appreciate it. Also note that Windy Beard has done some examples on his Patreon and Twitch site, and he's donated them to the Reactor, which we super appreciate that. And if you're on the Reactor, you can grab those too as well. The keyboard's really cool. So there's that. Another thing I wanted to mention is that our next game jam is coming up, December 19th. It's called Fusion Wars, The Programming Menace. If you haven't watched Star Wars, something's wrong with you. If you have, then you know that this is a complete parody. If you take a look at our poster for the game jam, you'll notice that Darth Maul is now Nico, our artist. Those are his glasses. You can see that Eves' face has been superimposed. He is now Qui-Gon Jinn. This, almost identical looking, but this is actually my daughter Taylor's face. I believe this is Oliver's face, and that's Danny with Click Team. So we've kind of hijacked this poster, and the contest with the theme will announce on the 19th. It'll last till January 4th, and I'm working on the prizes. We hope to have some better prizes than the Weirder Stuff 2 Jam. But we already have 19 entrants signed up. We'd love for you to sign up. It's going to be lots of fun. Just go to itch.io and search for Fusion Wars or Click Team, and you can get it from there. So that'll be cool. I think the other thing I need to mention, just a little bit of information for you. If you go to the Click Team website, you'll see that we've finally replaced the Fusion 3 blog with the new Click Team regular blog. So here's what it looks like. And the reason we did that is we have plenty to talk about. We just can't talk about Fusion 3 as much as you'd like. So we figured we'll make a general blog so that you can see that we're communicating all aspects of Click Team. I posted about the stream today. Yesterday we posted about Nightkeep. And then it just goes on and on with different posts for different aspects of Click Team. So we want to communicate better. Here's us trying to do so. So please check out the blog. We're going to update it weekly, a couple times a week. And that's it for tonight. I appreciate you watching. If you have any more suggestions on the inventory tutorial, please log into the Patreon and give us your suggestions, and I'll try to get them done. Hope to have it posted next week. Also, if you watched the November 28th special stream I did for the GGDA, I did procedural generation. I plan on posting that for reactants as well. If you're not a reactant, please visit our Patreon, patreon.com/clickteam, and sign up. We could use your support, help generate more cool content. So that's it for me today. I'll stick around in the chat a little while longer if you have any more questions. Thanks for watching.